Sam no mitrasyam varunaha sam no bhavatvaryama sam na indro bruhaspatihi sam no vishnururkramaha namo brahmane namaste vayo tvameva pratyaksham brahmasi tvameva pratyaksham brahma vadishyami ratam vadishyami satyam vadishyami tannamavatu tadvaktaramavatu avatu mam avatu vaktaram om shanti shanti shanti. So we pass on to the next stanza of Rudra Sukta.
Donc nous allons continuer avec le stanza suivant de Rudra Suktham.
So this stanza starts from the middle of the fourth sentence, you see, on the fourth line. Fourth line, yesterday's stanza we stopped at Eche Magam Rudra Abhito Dikshu. There it stopped. Now this starts from Sita Sahasra Sovai Shagam Heda I Mahe. So it is the fourth line from the middle.
Donc c'est la quatrième, on est arrivé à la quatrième ligne au milieu.
Srita sahasraso vaishagam heda imahe asau yo vasarpati nilagrivo vilohitaha. That is the stanza. Now, we first take up the word meaning of each word, and then the total meaning.
On va d'abord analyser mot à mot et puis la signification totale.
Sahasrasaha. Sahasrasaha means, Sahasra means thousand. Sahasrasaha means which are in thousands of forms, in thousands of alternate forms.
Donc Sahasra, ça veut dire 1000 en 1000 formes.
Esham means of these.
Esham veut dire de ceci.
Heda. Heda means the color which indicates anger.
Heda veut dire la couleur qui indique l'agressivité, la rage, la colère.
Imahe. Imahe means we are eliminating.
Imahe veut dire nous éliminons.
Yaha. Yaha means he who.
Yaha veut dire celui qui.
Avasarpati. Avasarpati means the one who is making downwards motion, who is moving downwards.
Avasarpati veut dire celui qui fait un mouvement vers le bas.
Asau. Asau means such a one.
Asao veut dire un tel.
Nilagrivaha.
Blue.
The one who has the neck having the color of blue.
Nilagriva.
It is here it is called black. Nila signifies blue also and black also. So black.
Donc Nilagriva, il y a deux possibles traductions correctes. Une c'est bleu et l'autre c'est noir. Et donc dans ce cas-ci c'est plutôt noir, celui qui a la nuque noire.
Vilohitaha. Vilohitaha means the one who is having the dissipated red color. Lohita means red color. Vilohita means dissipated red color.
Donc Vilohita veut dire celui qui possède la couleur rouge dissipée.
So the total meaning of this stanza is Rudras who are in many colors, many hundreds of colors, they are existing in all the directions. We have, on the other day I explained, we have directions, many directions. So the Rudras they arranged themselves towards the beings in all the directions. And these Rudras have many colors. They are in thousands of numbers. So such Rudra, the Rudra which is from such Rudras, we are praying the Rudra not to be angry upon us. So we are trying to eliminate the anger of Rudra. And when you observe on the western horizon, in the evening, at the sunset, the sun who is setting, who is going down, before sunset, he is red in color. But while going down, the red color is dissipated. Then only you will get darkness. So the sun who is going down is also a form of Rudra with dissipated red color.
Donc la signification totale est la suivante.
And one more is that after that he appears as Nilagriva, having the neck which is black. So like this we can visualize, we can meditate, we can visualize these forms of Rudra and offer our prayer to eliminate his anger upon us. Rudra is Lord of vibration, so vibration is very strong. So the phenomenon of vibration itself is very strong. So Rudra is, since Rudra is Lord of vibration, it is the word Rudra itself denotes the one who is making sound. Rud means to produce sound, because sound is vibration. So Rudra, Rodana, it is in Sanskrit we have the word Rodana. Rodana is generally translated as crying, but it is not. Crying is also Rodana, and shouting is also Rodana. But Rud is to make sound. So the Rudras are working in the etheric plane as the lords of all the vibration, and sound is such a vibration. Sound is one of the vibrations. Yeah, now you can complete. I am confident, therefore I give the full gist.
Right.
And when you see the neck in India, I think it's also his throat, all these, no? Which is black or blue. Yeah.
This part.
Not only there.
Not only there, this part, especially this part. Why he is called like that, I will explain.
Yes, but the question came because in French you have two words.
Yes.
Okay, so let's try. Rudra, la signification totale donc de ce stanza veut dire que Rudra, les Rudras qui viennent en plusieurs couleurs existent dans toutes les directions et il y en a des milliers. Un tel Rudra, on lui prie de ne pas être fâché sur nous. Quand par exemple le soir arrive et on regarde et on observe le coucher de soleil, juste avant que le soleil se couche, il y a ce genre de rouge dans l'air. Et au moment où le soleil commence à se coucher, le rouge se dissipe et devient rose. Et donc c'est ces couleurs-là dont on parle dans ces stanzas. Et après que le soleil est complètement couché, il y a bien sûr le noir dans l'air. Donc c'est un peu les couleurs qu'on peut voir juste avant, pendant et après le coucher du soleil. Et nous allons offrir toutes nos prières à Rudra, donc, parce que Rudra est le seigneur des vibrations et les vibrations sont très très fortes. Rudra est traduit comme celui qui produit du son. Donc Rud, le verbe Rud, c'est produire du son en sanskrit. Et on a aussi le mot Rodana qui est affilié à ça, qui veut dire crier ou pleurer. Mais en général, ces traductions ne sont pas tout à fait correctes. Donc, c'est plutôt produire du son. Et les Rudras travaillent dans le plan au niveau éthérique en tant que seigneur de la vibration. Et donc, le son est une vibration.
There is a symbolic explanation of Shiva. Shiva, whom you call Shiva, is explained as the chief of the Rudras. Shankara, Shiva, all these are all the names of this chief of Rudras. So there is an allegory in the Puranas explaining the steps of creation, manifestation of this creation, and this phenomenon of the manifestation of this creation is explained in the form of allegory. It is always, all these phenomena are explained in the form of allegories. They are actually symbols, and the symbols are explained in allegories. Without allegory, you cannot understand all these phenomena of the creation. So always in scriptures, in Vedic scriptures, Vedas and also Puranas, and the scriptures of any ancient tradition, you find all the phenomena of the creation are explained in the form of allegories. First, you can explain this.
Donc il y a une symbolique qui est expliquée par le nom de Shiva. Shiva étant le chef des Rudras. Un autre mot pour l'indiquer, c'est Shankara. C'est aussi un de ses noms. Et une allégorie explique dans les Puranas la manifestation de la création. En fait, tous les phénomènes dans les vieux textes et les textes antiques sont toujours expliqués en allégorie avec des symboles. Sans allégorie, on ne pourrait pas comprendre les écritures anciennes.
There is a sentence of Master Pythagoras about this. He says that the mysteries of the creation are concealed in the symbols and revealed through allegories. The mysteries of the creation are concealed in the symbols and revealed through allegories. This is a sentence from Master Pythagoras.
Donc, il y a une phrase que Pythagore a prononcée qui est « Les mystères de la création sont cachés dans les symboles, mais dévoilés en allégorie. »
Pythagoras is one of these grand masters who have given all these mysteries of this creation in the form of such sentences.
Et Pythagore est un des grands maîtres qui a dévoilé les mystères de notre création dans quelques phrases mystiques.
So here, why this Shankara or Shiva is described as having blue or black, generally it is called black, Nilakantha. Why it is so? it is explained why he is having a neck in black color. What is the significance? That is, when we have earlier studied, the Devas, when the Devas are created by the Lord of the universe, because in the creation, the process of creation is in two phases. First, there is cosmogenesis, and second, there is anthropogenesis.
Et donc le cosmos, quand il a été créé en deux phases. D'abord la cosmogénèse, ce qui est logique, et puis seulement l'anthropogénèse. Donc les êtres humains sont venus après le cosmos.
So the order of creation, the process of creation, when you study in the Puranas, then you find that first the Devas, they are first created. They come out from the Lord of this universe. First one who came out is called Brahma. And symbolically he is explained as having 4 faces. Brahma, we know this word because every day we utter this word Brahma. So this Brahma is the first outcome. Before the outcome of Brahma, there is only the ultimate, the whom he called the Supreme Creator. He is only existing and nothing is existing. And that one who is called, in the Puranas you find this Narayana. And from Narayana you have the first outcome of the first Deva, first of the Devas who came. He is called Brahma.
Donc il y a bel et bien un ordre dans la création de cet univers. On a d'abord celui qu'on appelle Narayana, donc avant lui il n'y a que le créateur, et celui qui sort après Narayana c'est Brahma.
So Brahma means the creator consciousness. The creator consciousness is called Brahma. And he is symbolically explained as having 4 faces. What are the 4 faces? These are the 4 phases of the creation.
Et donc Brahman est en fait la conscience créatrice, et il est expliqué qu'il a 4 visages. Mais en fait, c'est quoi les 4 visages? Ce sont les 4 phases de la création.
The creation is manifested completely in 4 phases. Just like how the word, the utterance of the word, we utter so many words, but we never know what is the process, how the word is being uttered. So every word that is uttered forth is uttered in 4 phases. That is the process, that is the phenomena. What are the 4 phases of the utterance of the word? This also many times I explained in the previous classes. Those who were in the previous classes must be remembering this, I think. Now Emma can herself explain this.
More or less. Yes. So Brahma est la conscience créatrice qui a donc 4 phases, donc 4 visages qui sont symboliques et qui cachent donc 4 phases. Et en fait, les 4 phases sont comparables à la prononciation du mot. Donc en fait, on a d'abord l'idée sans parole qui est formée dans notre tête, puis cette idée commence à prendre des formes, puis seulement il y a l'idée de le prononcer, après il y a la prononciation. Et en fait, dans celui qui écoute, c'est le même processus mais à l'envers. Donc il y a 8 phases avant qu'un mot descende de la tête vers la bouche et de l'oreille vers le cerveau de l'autre.
For example, when I say that this is a book, so I have uttered the word to denote some meaning. So this is a book, I uttered this word in English language. In a particular language I have uttered this word. So this word what I have uttered now is in the physical form. It is called the physical form of the speech. Each utterance, what we make, we utter a word in the physical form in a particular language. So whatever we utter out, it is the physical form of the speech. Before uttering this physical speech, the phase before this, the preceding phase is what is called the mental speech. Because the same word what we are uttering physically, this is uttered first in our mind, otherwise we cannot utter this out. Unless it is uttered at the level of mind, it cannot be uttered physically. So, the physical utterance of a word is preceded by the mental level of utterance. So, in the mind we utter and then we utter it out. And there is another phase preceding the mental speech. Before uttering any word in a particular language in the mind, what is the phase before this utterance? There is another phase where it is in the form of impression. It is not translated into any language, but it is. When I look at the book, the word book is not yet uttered in the mind. But before that, when I look at this, it is first an impression. It is an impression or an impulse. So it is an impression. And there was an impulse with this impression, carried impression, to utter. So that is the stage before. And this is also preceded by the very first stage where the utterer and his impulse to utter are not separated. Utterer and the utterance are one, undifferentiated, not separated. So this is the first phase. So the first phase, we start from the first phase. The first phase is utterer plus his impulse to utter are together. So this first phase is called para.
Donc, et ces phases différentes portent bien sûr tous un nom. On a par exemple le mot livre, et quand on prononce le mot livre, on a la forme physique de la langue. Et avant que je prononce le mot physique, il doit se former dans ma tête, parce que sinon il n'y a pas de prononciation physique. Donc le mental qui exprime le mot livre, c'est la deuxième phase. Puis il y a une phase encore avant cela, c'est que je vois le livre, mais je n'ai pas encore le mot livre, mais je regarde un livre et je sais que c'est l'impression que ce truc fait sur mon cerveau qui va faire que moi je pense que c'est un livre. Et avant cela, il y a encore une autre phase où le mot livre et celui qui le prononce est un, où c'est pas séparé. Donc c'est un peu comme à la Bible où on dit d'abord il y avait Dieu et Dieu était la parole et la parole était Dieu. C'est un peu ça. Donc il y a une phase qui s'appelle para dans laquelle celui qui prononce et le mot qu'il va prononcer, mais ce n'est pas encore un mot à ce moment-là, donc c'est plutôt un impulse, sont un.
And then the second phase where you have already the impulse to utter, carrying the impression. There is the impulse. Here there is the separation of the utterer and the impulse. Here they are inseparable, they are one. Here it is separated as the impulse to utter with the impression. This is called pasyanti.
Et donc si on le prend un peu à l'envers, la deuxième phase en fait de prononcer ou de vouloir prononcer, c'est donc la phase où celui qui prononce se sépare de l'impulse de vouloir prononcer. Et c'est une impression donc qui se sépare de lui et qui commence à être tout seul, et à ce moment-là on l'appelle la phase pasyanti.
And then the third phase is where this impression is translated into a language. So this third is the utterance at the level of mind in a language. This is called a mental speech. In Sanskrit it is called madhyama.
Donc la troisième phase, c'est la phase où on a donc la traduction soi-disant de l'impression dans le mental, et le mental va l'exprimer dans un langage. Et donc quand il a choisi la langue, c'est la fin de la troisième phase, et ça s'appelle madhyama.
And the fourth phase is the word that is uttered out in the form of physical. It is called the physical speech, physical utterance. This is what is called vaikhari.
Et donc la quatrième phase, qui est donc le mot physique qui sort de la bouche, cette phase-là s'appelle vaikhari.
So this is the order of utterance of a word.
Ça c'est donc l'ordre de la prononciation d'un mot.
So this is exactly the same, this is the imitation of the utterance of the creation. So this Brahma, the creative consciousness, utters forth this creation into existence. So the whole creation, that is why it is called a word. It is a word that is uttered out, which is manifested as creation. So the whole creation is called symbolically the word of God. That is what you find in Bible also. The word was with God and the word was God. So this is the significance.
Et donc toute la création est en fait rien d'autre qu'un mot qui est prononcé par Dieu. Et c'est pour cela que la Bible dit il y avait d'abord Dieu et Et Dieu était le mot était Dieu. Et donc la parole est en fait rien d'autre, ou le mot qu'on peut dire est rien d'autre que le monde, la création entière.
So this Brahma was the first and foremost, and then he continued this work, and then you have the outcome of all the devas, groups of devas who came into existence. That is, so these devas are these intelligences, and these intelligences made their appearance, manifestation, and their functions for the creation of all the solar systems and all this.
Et donc, après cela, on a la création de toutes les intelligences, de tous les devas qui commencent leur travail pour œuvrer la manifestation de la création. Can I ask you a question? If that is just one word, and you have the whole, what we call universe or planetary system, does it mean that the other planetary systems are other words? And what if Brahman says a sentence instead of a word?
With one word, that means this one utterance has spread and spread and spread, multiplying. So all the solar systems, it is the source is one.
Okay.
The one source.
Okay. So you better stop talking now, because we have too much already.
So, in this process of the manifestation of the moon, the manifestation of the other bodies coming into existence, for all this there is the process which is called what we call churning. You know what is churning? And so this is a process by which you find the manifestation of forms which are not there before. So for example, just a best example for us is when you take some yogurt and put an instrument and churn it, then you get the butter. The butter was not there before. Butter is there latent. It is not that it is not there, it is latent. By churning, by this process, you brought the latent butter into a form, existing form. This is an example how all the various bodies, including the solar systems, they came into existence. Because all the solar systems are there latent as seeds, seed principles in Akasha. Akasha means the unbound, infinite space is called Akasha. And symbolically it is said that the Lord of the universe has his form. And what is his form? His form is Akasha. Akasha is his form. Just like we have our form, he has his form. His form is what we call Akasha. The infinite space, which is potential. The space is potential. Because everything comes out into existence from the space, into manifestation, and exists in space for a certain period, and then once again merges into the space, into the background, into the source. Coming to manifestation, emerging, existing and merging. These three phases are there for the universe. It emerges. from the unmanifest into manifestation, exists for a certain period, and merges from manifested form into unmanifest form. So this is the whole thing about this process of creation. We are part of it.
Et donc le processus de la manifestation de corps célestes, par exemple, c'est tout comme on fait du beurre dans un grand récipient. On met d'abord le lait, puis on commence à tourner, et puis le beurre commence à être. Donc en fait, on fait apparaître une forme de beurre qui était dans le lait, dans un état latent, mais qui apparaît, soi-disant, ou qui se concrétise à partir du moment qu'on fait le mouvement de tourner. Et donc, c'est ainsi que tous les systèmes solaires se présentent et se manifestent dans Akasha, qui est en fait l'espace infini. Et donc, parfois, on se demande quelle est la forme du Seigneur. La forme du Seigneur, c'est Akasha. Donc, il a une forme et c'est l'espace infini. Et l'espace, c'est donc un potentiel.
So, these devas, there are different groups of devas who came into existence, and they are the devas who are the sons of light, and also there are other intelligences, the counterparts, who are called asuras. There are two words you find in Veda. Sura and asura. Sura is the light and asura is darkness. So you have the intelligences of light, intelligences of darkness. They are called the demonic forces. All these, both these are existing from the beginning of this creation. That is part of creation only.
Et donc, il y a deux groupes de devas qui sont menés à exister. Et un, on connaît, ce sont les devas, et ils sont appelés les fils de la lumière. Et l'autre groupe, c'est les asuras ou les démons, donc les fils des pénombres. Et en fait, ces deux groupes-là existent depuis le début de la création. Donc, ils font partie de la création.
So all these groups of devas, they wanted to obtain what is called Amrita. Amrita is symbolically explained as the divine nectar and by drinking this divine nectar one will attain immortality. So they wanted to achieve this and they wanted to attain this. And then they asked what we have to do to attain this. Then the Creator told them, you have to churn the ocean. It is latent in the ocean because everything can come out of this ocean. What is this ocean? It is the ocean of subjectivity. It is from infinity, everything is there in that. But to bring this out, you have to churn this. So they said, and he said, you told them, you churn the ocean, then you will get it. So for churning you need an instrument. How can you have? So here what is the instrument? Because this ocean is not just the normal ocean. It is the ocean of subjectivity or ocean of infinity. So, then they have taken a mount. This mount is also not physical form of any mountain. It is symbolic also. So they have taken a mount which is called Manthara. This mount is the spiral force, the spiral energy in the space. So they have taken this mount, and then it is not just enough. If you have the instrument, you have a rope. You should have a rope to tie around this, and with the two ends, and so alternately you have to pull the ends. Then you can churn this. So this mount is there, but you should have a rope. And this is big mount. With small rope you cannot do it. So then again they asked, what shall we tie? Then he said that there is a big serpent. There is a big serpent which you can use as a rope to tie around this mount. And this serpent is a symbol of time. So this serpent is taken and tied around this mount, and on one side Devas and one side Asuras. Suras and Asuras. They held. The tail part of this is held by Asuras. The head part of the serpent is held by Devas, and they started to churn. Then what happened? This mount is very heavy, so it is going down into the ocean. So it is not being stabilized, and they could not hold this mount to prevent going down. Once again they have a problem. Then again they approached the Supreme Being, Narayana, and they requested him to give some solution for this. Then he said, "Don't worry, I am coming." And he took the form of a turtle. And then he came underneath the mount. He said, "Now don't worry, you start churning. I am here to hold the mount." So this turtle is the symbol of the higher energies in the higher levels of this Akasha, from which all these solar systems emanate. That is, in Puranas you find, because Puranas is a science. It is not just only stories or something else. It is a science, higher science, Vedas and Puranas. So in that you have one what is called Simsumara Chakra. It is called chakra. Chakra means wheel. It is called chakra because its functioning is circular. So this Simsumara means tortoise. Simsumara means tortoise. So this energy, high energy, is signified as tortoise, and So the Lord has taken the form of this tortoise to be under his mount, where they can churn, they can start churning.
Donc en fait, au départ de la création, le Seigneur avait créé l'ambroise, le nectar divin, qui s'appelle Ananta, et les Devas voulaient l'obtenir parce qu'ils savaient qu'en buvant cela, ils allaient devenir immortels. Donc ils ont demandé au Seigneur qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire, qu'est-ce qu'il faut essayer de l'atteindre, comment faire. Et le Seigneur a dit, dans ce cas-là, comme vous tournez le beurre, tournez l'océan, et si vous faites ça, vous allez créer ou mettre en existence ce nectar. Et ils ont donc regardé l'océan, et l'océan évidemment est l'océan de la subjectivité. Et donc ils se sont dit, l'océan est très grand, qu'est-ce qu'on fait? Il faut un outil, il faut quelque chose comme ça. Et puis ils ont trouvé comme instrument une montagne qui s'appelle Mantara. Et la montagne signifie dans ce cas-ci la force spirale en espace. Et bien sûr, pour savoir tourner la montagne, ils avaient besoin d'une énorme corde, et encore ils avaient un problème, donc ils demandaient au Seigneur qu'est-ce qu'on peut prendre comme corde, et le Seigneur a répondu, il y a un énorme serpent là, les Devas prennent la tête du serpent, vous le tournez autour de la montagne, et puis les démons prennent la queue du serpent, et comme ça on peut commencer à tirer et à tourner la montagne pour essayer d'extraire donc le nectar de la mer, de l'océan. Et une fois qu'ils ont commencé à tourner la montagne, le gros souci c'est que la montagne descendait en mer et il n'y avait pas moyen de l'arrêter, donc encore une fois ils étaient devant une énigme, donc ils ont demandé au Seigneur ce qu'il fallait faire et il a dit « Ne vous inquiétez pas, j'arrive ». Et le Seigneur a pris une forme de tortue et il s'est mis en dessous de la montagne pour éviter que la montagne descendait en mer. Et donc la tortue a soutenu la montagne, ce qui veut dire que Simsumara Chakra, c'est le mot qui est indiqué pour donc donner le nom du Seigneur, et Simsumara veut dire tortue. Et chakra, bien sûr, veut dire roue. Et donc, la tortue est le symbole au niveau le plus haut dans l'espace, qui émane, dont émanent donc tous les systèmes solaires.
Is that the same process that the masters know to bring into existence one object?
Yes, in miniature, to manifest an object.
Yeah.
That is
Churning in the ocean, I mean.
Yes, that is always the process in miniature. To manifest some substance, that is the procedure.
Et donc pour manifester n'importe quel objet ou n'importe quelle forme, c'est toujours la même procédure.
So then, when they started to churn, then there is the first substance that came into existence is a very big, terrible substance, which is, they were expecting that this wonderful nectar will come immediately, but it is not the immediate nectar. It is a substance which is called hala. Hala, that is a substance which is very difficult to manage, to contain, because that is like very intense destructive substance. It's like a poisonous substance, destructive force. So this intense destructive force first came into existence, and all these devas and asuras also got terrified what to do with this. So they asked once again Brahma, and he said, if you approach Shiva, who is the Lord of dissolution. So Shiva is who is Lord of dissolution. He is also called Maheshwara. There are many names to Shiva. So they approached him, these devas. And what he did, he has taken all this, the whole of this, because there is enormous substance which came into existence, which is so much destructive and detrimental for the creation. So he has voluntarily taken all this and kept inside his throat. He could contain this. He has the power to contain all such things, to protect the creation, beings of the creation. So he absorbed all this and kept inside his neck. He did not allow it to go down in him, did not allow it to come out, and he kept it there, suspended. And since then, his neck became black. So this is a significant story, a symbolic story. Since then he is called Nilakantha, because his neck became black because of this. So since then he is called Nilakantha.
Et donc en tournant l'océan avec la montagne et le serpent, les devas avaient attendu que la première matière qui allait sortir, ce serait le nectar tant voulu, mais non, ils n'avaient pas de chance. Il y avait une matière, une substance qui s'appelle hala, et cette substance est une substance à force très destructrice, empoisonnée. Et de nouveau, les devas étaient devant un gros problème parce qu'ils ne savaient pas quoi faire avec cette matière. Et donc, ils ont demandé au Seigneur qu'est-ce qu'il fallait faire. Et le Seigneur a répondu, allez chercher Shiva, il va résoudre le problème. Et Shiva, qui porte aussi le nom de Maheshwara, c'est le Seigneur de la dissolution. Et en fait, il a pris toute la substance et il l'a contenue, il l'a maintenue dans sa gorge. Et donc, tout le poison est contenu dans la gorge de Shiva, mais en suspension. Donc, la substance ne peut pas descendre ni monter, elle est suspendue. Et depuis lors, la gorge de Shiva est donc noire et on peut donc dire qu'il est Nilagrivaya.
So that is what you find in the Rudra Sukta many times. He is called Nilagriva.
Et très souvent dans le Rudra Sukta, on entend donc Nilagrivaya.
So the Devas continued to churn after this, and then they got so many things. They got the moon, that is also symbolic, because moon is the mind principle. So the mind principle of the Creator is manifested as moon in every solar system. This moon came into existence from the mind of the Creator. This is explained in Purusha Sukta. Chandrama manaso jataha. Chandrama means moon. So, moon came into existence from the mind of the Supreme Being, the mind. So the moon came out, and then Lakshmi came out, only the first thing is this detrimental, dangerous thing which is taken away by Shiva. Afterwards, all the very good things, they came into existence, and finally the nectar, they could get this Amrita. For that they churned all these things. So this Amrita is symbolically called a drink, a nectar, but it is not a drink. It is immortal experience. It is an experience. Immortal experience. So for that they were churning this ocean of infinity for this purpose.
Et donc, les Devas ont continué à essayer de tourner l'océan, et donc il y a plusieurs choses qui sont sorties. Donc la première substance qui est sortie, c'était cette substance empoisonnée et meurtrière qui a été absorbée par Shiva. Et puis ils ont fait apparaître la lune aussi, parce que la lune c'est le mental du créateur. Puis ils ont aussi vu sortir Lakshmi, et toutes les bonnes choses à partir de là ont commencé à exister, ou se manifester plutôt. Et finalement, ils ont aussi eu leur fameux nectar ou amrita, qui est généralement appelé une boisson, mais en fait ce n'est pas du tout un nectar ou un truc à boire, c'est plutôt une expérience, c'est l'expérience de l'immortalité.
So here in this stanza, what we have seen that in all the directions, the Rudras are in all the directions in thousands of forms. So what are the Rudras? Actually, we have seen that number of Rudras is 11. So 11 is the chief, those who are the principal Rudras, who govern the plane of Rudras, the plane of vibration. But you have, for example, you have the chief officers, and each of these officers will have his subordinate officers and their offices and all this. Like this, you have many of the subordinate forces working. So, these, what you find as in the form of the phenomenon of light every day, what we observe, to form the day and night, alternation of day and night, which marks the time aspect. So, a journey, an alternation. So it marks the time aspect. So there is alternation of this darkness and light in the form of night and day. So those who are in the form of the light in different stages, in different phases, different forms. So that is what is, these are explained as there are so many Rudras. So the Supreme Being, who is in whom all this time aspect and all these are working, so all this is the form of this Supreme Lord of the universe. So it is the whole manifestation of His creation and unmanifestation. This is symbolically explained as the exhalation and inhalation of the Lord of Universe. When he makes an exhalation, then the creation comes into existence. Once again, when he makes inhalation, the whole thing goes into dissolution, disappearance. So, merging and emerging, alternation of merging and emerging. And this alternation of merging and emerging is with the operation of soham in the form of inhalation and exhalation. Because this inhalation and exhalation is a phenomenon that is there with the Lord of the Universe, the same phenomenon is also manifested in the beings of this universe. In the same pattern. That is why we are also able to make inhalation and exhalation. We think that we are making inhalation and exhalation, but how? From where? We got this phenomenon. It is from the Lord of the Universe. So he also makes inhalation and exhalation. He makes inhalation and exhalation, then we think that, oh, he is also making inhalation and exhalation like us. No, we are making inhalation and exhalation like him. If somebody says, my father resembles me, that is ridiculous. I resemble my father. You have the features of your father or your mother. But if somebody says, oh, my mother or my father resembles me, he has the features of myself. So like that. So if we say that, oh, he is also making inhalation and exhalation like us. No. We are making inhalation and exhalation like him. Because it is a phenomenon manifested from him. In us also it is the operation of soham only. When we are making inhalation, it is the operation of potency, sound potency, so. And when we make exhalation, it is the operation of sound potency, hum. By alternation, this becomes so hum. So hum. So making a conscious effort to enter into this, that is what is called pranayama. That is what we are trying to practice.
Et donc, dans ce stanza, nous allons voir qu'ils disent, où il est expliqué que les Rudras existent dans toutes les directions et qu'ils ont des milliers de formes. Nous savons qu'il y a 11 Rudras. Alors pourquoi on parle de beaucoup? C'est parce que les 11 Rudras, ce sont les chefs Rudras qui, eux, gouvernent le plan de la vibration. Mais chaque chef a bien sûr ses subordonnés. Et ça veut dire qu'ils ont donc d'autres forces en eux pour pouvoir multiplier le travail. Et de là vient donc aussi l'alternation du jour et de la nuit, parce que la vibration continue. Donc l'effort est continu et nous expérimentons donc continuellement les choses comme ça. Un des aspects du Seigneur aussi, c'est le temps, et le temps existe dans le Seigneur. C'est une forme du Seigneur. Toute la création est en expansion et en fait c'est l'inspire qui fait rentrer la création dans le Seigneur et c'est l'expire qui fait sortir la création du Seigneur. Donc quand il crée, il expire et il dit ham Et quand il inspire, toute la création se submerge en lui. Et là, on peut comparer au saut. Et donc, c'est parce que lui, il inspire et qu'il expire et qu'il crée et qu'il dissout que nous aussi, nous pouvons respirer. Et donc, la création se résume donc en deux phases, donc le saut et la ham. Et très souvent, nous pensons que c'est nous qui respirons, mais en fait, c'est pas du tout ça. C'est le Seigneur qui respire et nous qui faisons comme lui. C'est tout aussi idiot de dire que mes parents me ressemblent parce que c'est pas du tout correct. C'est que je ressemble à mes parents. Et donc, ces inspires et ces expires, donc la respiration de Shiva, c'est ce qu'on essaye d'imiter tous les matins dans un effort constant et conscient. Et donc, c'est le pranayama.
So this is so hum. So this is the energy, this is the sound potency, so hum, which is responsible for the conducting of our inhalation and exhalation. And this it is very mystic sound. This sound is very, because this is the sound which is acting as a potency. This is combination of two sounds, so, hum. So this one, so signifies breathing in. That is why in the pranayama practice, what we do while making inhalation, we utter this sound. We cannot utter this sound physically, because during inhalation you can utter only mentally. So, taking inside, when you are breathing in, that is by the operation of this so. And then breathing out is by operation of hum. These two potencies together, so hum. So the alternation of these two potencies makes it possible to make inhalation and exhalation. And this is coming down from the Lord of the universe, the Creator Himself. So when He wants to breathe out, then the creation comes into existence, breathing out. When He wants to breathe in, everything goes into Himself, which we call dissolution. All this is symbolically explained in the scriptures on this phenomenon. So here you have that is one. And ha. And this is another dimension in this. S and H. This, when this is combined with the sound potency of fire, the sound potency of fire is R. Because this R is called the trill. It is also very mystic sound, because when we have to utter a sound, it is possible only through this trill, through this vibration. Because you know how the sound is uttered by us. Exhalation, that is one thing. And this exhalation makes vibration of our vocal cords. The vocal cords start vibrating by our exhalation. When you want to utter a sound, it makes, through the exhalation, it makes the two vocal cords to vibrate. And by the vibration of this, there is the trill. The trill is like how you hold the matchbox and take matchstick and rub it. When you rub it, you get the flame. So it is the process of fire. So the manifestation of fire into flame is by rubbing, either with matchbox or anything. When you rub it, so it is ignition. It is what is called igniting. So this igniting is the phenomenon of manifestation of flame from fire. Here also, the two vocal cords are made to rub to each other. Then it is ignited and it comes out as a sound. So this is also the manifestation of fire. So this is how it is explained in the Vedic science. This is Agni. Therefore is Ar. The sound Ar. When you utter the sound also, it is different, quite special sound. Ar, like this, like something which is rubbing. That is what is called the trill. Without this, utterance of sound is not possible. So whichever sound you utter out, either harsh sound or smooth sound, any sound, that is possible by the trill only. And this is symbolically in the scriptures, this is called the bull. This trill is called the bull. Why it is called bull? Because the bull is the symbol of fertilization. Fertilization is a process, is a phenomenon by which you will get the fruit, formation of the fruit. So this fertilization, the agent of fertilization is bull. That is the fire aspect. And also, that is why all this mechanism of utterance of a sound is placed here with the vocal cords, and astrologically this is the place of, this signifies the second of the zodiac, the second sign of the zodiac, Taurus. In the zodiac, the second sign is Taurus. The place of Taurus is, the Taurus governs the vocal cords and the utterance part of every being. When you study astrology, you will know that, because each sign in the zodiac governs each part of our body, starting from top of the head. So above the eyebrows, the top of the head is governed by Aries, and next is Taurus, which governs all this. So the apparatus to utter the sound is governed by the sign Taurus. So the sign Taurus is signified by bull. So all this is interconnected. That is what you find the synthesis in the Puranas, in the scriptures.
Donc quand on parle de So Ham, on sait que So c'est l'inspire et Ham c'est l'expire. Ceci c'est un mécanisme qui descend du Seigneur vers nous et c'est décrit symboliquement dans toutes les Écritures. Quand on combine ces sons-là avec la potence du feu, on arrive à la lettre R. Et R, c'est une vibration qui crée un frottement. Donc le frottement est à la base du feu. Il va créer une étincelle et donc à partir de l'étincelle, on peut avoir du feu. Si on combine donc les trois sons, donc le So, le Ham et le R, la manifestation du feu va sortir et il est associé à un son qui ne peut pas se produire sans vibration. La vibration dans l'écriture s'appelle le taureau. Pourquoi? Parce que c'est le symbole de la fertilisation. Et pour produire donc les fruits, il faut une fertilisation. Et le mécanisme d'expression, donc les cordes vocales dans l'être humain, se situe dans la gorge, qui lui est le siège du taureau. Et donc le taureau gouverne les cordes vocales et donc dans tous les êtres humains.
So this utterance of sound involves this S, H and the trill, this R. And this combination, from this combination you get the mystic word Sahasra. These only 3 letters in Sanskrit. Sa, Ha, Sra.
Et donc l'expression de ces 3 lettres combinées, le S, le H et le R, cette combinaison donc, est à la base du mot mystique Sahasra. Et donc en sanskrit, ce n'est que 3 lettres.
Sahasra has, in one significance, Sahasra means 1000.
Sahasra peut entre autres vouloir dire 1000.
So the Sahasra is also called, it is the wheel which is symbolized as the weapon of the Lord of the universe. You see in the pictures, in the picturization, you find on one finger he wears a wheel which destroys all the evil forces. That is the wheel of the Sahasra. So Sahasra is a mantra. It is a mantra which is latent in every one of us, but we are not conscious of it. Even though we are inhaling and exhaling and uttering the words, but we are not conscious. Our consciousness is not awakened. It is going on in us. Many things are there in us latent, but we are not conscious of them. Our purpose of studying this science is to get into conscious contact with all this. Otherwise, it is just like the one who is sleeping. Suppose in the room, you have placed so many very wonderful things. But for a person who is sleeping, nothing exists. All are there, which he can make use of. Everything is there which you can make use of in the room. But when you are sleeping, all are there but they are not existing. In the same manner, when we are not awakened, our consciousness is not awakened into the awareness of all this, so we don't know anything. Even though our existence is because of all this, but we don't know. How we are existing, we don't know. So you may learn all sciences. You think, I have studied physics, I have studied electronics, I have studied this, that. Okay, you can study. But the background of all this is how you are existing. Because who are you? Who am I? I am an engineer, I am this, I am that, I am this. I have got through my intelligence. Who are you and where from you have this intelligence? How you are existing? So all this is not known because we are not yet awakened. So that is possible by the study of this higher science, which is the base of all the sciences. When you study this, then you get into the awareness. Then you will know what is the base of all these sciences. It is the one base for all the sciences. Maybe physics or botany or any science, any branch of the science, but it is the base. When you know yourself, how you are existing, and what are the forces that are working, then you will know everything is before. It is just like you are awakened and you can make use of everything around you. So that is the purpose. So Sahasra is that energy. Sahasra. So it is continuously working in us. Sahasra. So symbolically it is called the weapon in the hand of the Lord. The Sahasra. So Sahasra is a wheel. So everything has a circular manifestation. So the movement of the sun every day when you observe is also circular. The movement of our earth is circular. This is all a circular movement in the space. So what is being explained here in the Rudra Sukta, in these stanzas, is connecting to us to the experience of how all this in a circular manner, all this is manifesting. Once again, this circular movement is by alternation only. You see, every day when you observe, the sun appears to be rising from the east and ascending to the middle of the heaven and descending to the west and going down to the northern and coming down. So it is once again circular. So the day and the year, everything is cyclic. So what you find cyclic is circular. So this is what is implied in these stanzas.
Et donc, le Seigneur, quand on voit des images de lui, on le remarque souvent avec la roue sur un doigt. Et cette roue est bien sûr Sanskara. Et la roue est appelée aussi l'arme du Seigneur de l'univers qui détruit toutes les forces maléfiques. C'est un mantra aussi dont nous ne sommes pas conscients, mais qui est continuellement à l'œuvre en nous. Et l'étude que nous faisons ici pour voir ce qui se passe dans l'univers, c'est parce que les études qu'on fait nous connectent à ce système, à ce processus. Mais par exemple, quand on dort, il n'y a rien d'autre qui existe. Donc, nous essayons de réveiller notre conscience, de connecter notre conscience à ce processus universel. Et donc, comme ça, nous pouvons utiliser tout ce qui nous est donné. Tout comme une personne qui est endormie dans une pièce ne peut pas utiliser les choses qui sont dans la pièce parce qu'il n'y a rien qui existe pour lui. Mais quand il est réveillé, tous les objets dans la pièce deviennent des objets qu'on peut utiliser. Très souvent, on se pose la question: qui suis-je? D'où viens-je? D'où je tiens mon intelligence? Et nous ne savons donc pas, puisque nous ne sommes pas réveillés. Et si on se réveille à cette science qu'on est en train d'étudier, on connaîtra la base de toutes les sciences dans le monde. C'est la base de tout autour de nous. Donc, Sahasra, c'est l'énergie qui continuellement travaille en nous et qui est symbolisée par la roue. Si on observe les planètes, le soleil, etc., on peut constater que tout est circulaire. Donc en fait, on a des cercles autour de nous tout le temps. Et les stanzas qu'on étudie aujourd'hui sont aussi des choses qui sont répétées tout le temps, donc qui est un mouvement circulaire et qui suit donc le mouvement circulaire de l'univers. Et tout, quand on observe bien, est cyclique. L'année est cyclique, les saisons sont cycliques, le mouvement du soleil est cyclique. Et donc on peut retrouver le symbole du cercle ou le mouvement circulaire partout dans l'univers.
So the capacity for sight, the sense of sight, we are able to, all the beings, we are able to see using our eye, through the eye. We see through the eye. And all this phenomenon is because it is made possible because of the circular movement of the sun. It is movement, it is relative. Actually our earth is moving around the sun, and it appears to us the sun is moving around the earth. So the circular movement, the circular movement of the sun as it appears for us, that enables us to use our sense of sight. Because, astrologically also, in the science of astrology also, one of the governances of the sun is the sense of sight. The placement of the sun in the chart explains the capability of the vision for a person. So the sun is responsible for us for so many things, and the sense of sight also. So each of the five senses are governed by different planets. So sun governs the sense of sight on level of consciousness. So all this in this stanza, this Rudra is described as the one with having this blue neck, and one is having dissipated color of red, that is signified by the sun in the movement of going down in the evening, and during this process, before the sunset you have the red sky, the red color, and when the sun going on descending, gradually the red color is dissipated, and ends into black color in the form of darkness when one's sun is down. So this is what is explained in this stanza as Nilagrivo Vilohitaha. Nilagrivaha, the one having black neck, Vilohitaha, the one having color, the dissipated color of the red color. So in this manner is symbolically explained in this stanza.
Donc le fait de voir pour un être humain, donc avec les yeux physiques, est rendu possible grâce au mouvement circulaire du Soleil. Et en astrologie aussi, on peut voir à la position du Soleil dans la carte astrologique de quelqu'un, quelles sont ses capacités donc, oculaires. Mais ce n'est pas seulement au niveau des yeux physiques, mais aussi au niveau de la conscience. Et Rudra est donc décrit en tant qu'ayant la gorge noire et entouré de rouge, mais quand on compare donc dans la vie de tous les jours le coucher de soleil, on peut aussi voir donc juste avant que le soleil se couche tout le rouge qui entoure le ciel et le soleil qui va descendre, et le rouge qui dissipe au moment que le soleil descend et qui laisse derrière lui donc la couleur noire du ciel.
So this completes this stanza which we took up in this class.
Et ceci complète donc le stanza qu'on vient d'étudier.
Vasudeva.
Vasudeva.